A champion doesn't become a champion in the ring. The becoming happens during his daily routine. The practicing, the developing, the discipline that when applied consistently can get you to the next level.
When you live like this, when you get up early, when you go the extra mile, when you have painstaking attention to detail, when you live like this, when you devote yourself to your craft, when there's a sparkle in your eye to change the world and live your heroic potential, you'll be called a freak, an oddball, a misfit. But just remember this. If people don't misunderstand you, you're not playing at your personal genius.
Take your seed, take your gift. Get away from these people that's in your life that ain't doing nothing. Get away from people in your life that's hating. Get away from your family members that ain't ever opened a business. Get away from them. Don't die with this gift and don't never use it. All of y'all got this wonderful gift, but you gotta use it.
Where are the warriors that say, I'm gonna make a decision and I'm keeping it? And regardless of how you feel about it, it doesn't matter if the world is crumbling or down around you. Just do the thing every single day, whether you feel like it or not.
When we look at other people's success, we start creating all of these excuses as to why we're not successful like them. Whenever you live insecure, you will speak like a victim. And when you're a victim, you give away your power. Listen, I'm not trying to condemn you. I'm trying to confront you. Some of you tonight, you need to get sick and tired of living in this place. There is no person above you. When you're insecure, you're addicted to man's approval. Yet what you'll find with insecure people is the more that they get man's approval, the more they want it even more. And when they don't get man's approval, they become even more toxic.
Habits are the building blocks of our lives. It's what you can do every single day that matters more than anything. Devote yourself to something bigger. Be decisive about what you're going to do. Say, I'm going to do it, and that's it. And then be disciplined about getting it done every single day, whether you feel like it or not.
Don't base your value on what other people have said about you. Don't base your worth on how other people treated you. But you know, there's a lot of hurting people out in the world, and hurting people hurt people. It's just that when you're full of pain, then you end up just putting that pain off on everybody else.
You should go and live your dream. Just go see. Your real life is not in your current situation. Your real life is not in your paycheck. Your real life, he tucks it away in your imagination. Everything you imagine is a preview to a coming attraction. Once you understand that and quit looking at your imagination as hocus pocus, it opens up a wide range of things and possibilities. That simply means everything that's in your imagination is a preview of a coming attraction that God has for you. That's why when you tell your imagination to the wrong people, it don't go nowhere.
Letting it go so you can grow. Develop compassion for yourself despite your human defects. You will never be perfect. You will never be perfect. You're human. You've made a lot of mistakes. Guess what? You're not through yet. You're going to do some more. Hurry up and get it over with. You got to learn to be gentle with yourself. Make it all right. What you don't know, the mistakes that you make. It's okay. Handle it. Learn from the experience. Decide that you are to be up front, to be true to yourself. Are you getting what you need out of it?
Are the things that you're doing, the people that you're hanging out with, and the places and the circles that you're traveling in, does that reflect a person that actually loves themselves? You know that they don't like you. You know what they're saying about you behind your back. You know they're jealous and envious of who you are and the things that you got going on in your life and your career. And because you're so desperate to have people around you and in your life, you continue to go back.
A person who has purpose in their life, they have something to go for, some meaning. If you have a list of high purpose in your life, it pulls you toward the future. And the more powerful the purpose is, the stronger it pulls.
If you are looking to any human being to meet all your needs, you're going to be severely disappointed, because nobody can do that. Only God can meet all your needs. If you are looking to any human being to keep you happy, you're going to be unhappy most of your life. Human love runs out. Human people disappoint you. So you better put your happiness in somebody and something that cannot be taken from you. You need to look to God.
Because what was appropriate as a system is now inappropriate, because I have outgrown the way I speak, the way I understand, and the way that I think. I am bigger than the system. The system can't put me away. I must put it away.
This idea that we see other people above us, but when we look at ourselves, we're beneath, we're lower than. Nothing will hold you back more than insecurity. Insecurity kills more dreams than failure ever will. Some of you are like, I'm a failure. I don't have any dreams. You're lying to yourself. You didn't even try.
If you don't have these strong purposes for the future, it's easy to get swallowed by a bad day. So if you want something to pull you through all kinds of challenges, all kinds of difficulties, and things that come at you, you got to have something on out there, beyond today, that pulls you into the future. And the clearer it is, the stronger it pulls. The more dynamic it is, the more it affects your life, your spirit, your heart, your soul. And if you have good input, like good ideas, I'm telling you, there isn't anything you can't accomplish. That is purpose.
You can't base your value on what people give you. They'll say you're beautiful one day and I don't care for you the next. If you don't know who you are without them, then if they leave, you'll be lost. Your identity was caught up in who they made you to be. You'll try to find somebody else to tell you who you are. You don't need people to tell you who you are. People will let you down. People will get jealous. People have their own issues.
I'm going to stay on this lower level. When you do that and you reject God's opportunity, you are left with nothing but the hope of magic. Magic is when I'm believing that I'm going to get a blessing up here while I'm staying down here. You can't do it. It's like believing God that you're going to get pregnant and not gain weight. I don't want to throw up in the morning. No, all of that goes along with the process.
See, all of us have greatness within us. But when you don't come to grips with your greatness, I'm saying that you're positioning yourself to be a miserable person. How else do we do it? Procrastination. We just put things off over and over and over again. Why? Because we haven't accepted it. We don't feel deserving. So we sabotage ourselves by not ever taking care of business. We get real busy doing a lot of things where we don't have any time.
And if you will allow anyone, any voice on the inside to talk you out of this moment, you will forfeit it and be stuck washing your nets when there's a great drought of fish waiting you, if you have the courage to believe.
I become confident when I get the right view of other people and I get the right view of myself. It's amazing, right? You ever notice that arrogance requires advertising? But confidence speaks for itself. Insecurity, cynicism, and arrogance, they're all loud. But confidence doesn't even have to speak.
Where does self-confidence come from? Self-confidence really comes from feeling good about yourself. And one of the best ways to feel good about yourself is at the end of the day to know that you poured it on. You did your best. At the end of the day, when you've really poured it on and you've done all the stuff, self-confidence grows. That self-confidence affects your health, it affects your future, it affects your psyche. Self-confidence comes from the lack of neglect. Self-confidence means willingness to do whatever it takes to achieve. That starts to develop unbelievable self-confidence.
Let me say something to you that none of your haters will ever want you to know. You are much closer to your dream than you think you are. It could happen much sooner and much bigger than you think. And it is your ability to begin to believe and get real clarity of perception, of time, believe it's going to happen sooner, that will get you to act faster and be less distracted by the feedback or the weather that happens while you're on this run. It is much closer than you think it is. And it's your ability to begin to bring, not only get clear about what it is, but bring it closer.
The fortune belongs to you if you start early. All fortunes that are available to humans, if you start early, the promise looms large and the odds are heavy in your favor. Now, yes, it's possible to do some radical things starting late, but when you haven't got that much time left, now sometimes the decision has to be so drastic people are not willing to make it and they're too tired, too weary, and too ill. But everyone here, we've got the time over the next 10 years. We've got the time the next 20 years to make some repair now in our errors of the past and set up some new disciplines. And I'm telling you, that's going to change everything.
Self-confidence also comes from the ability to rise above your circumstances. To rise above what happens, the petty little things, the discouraging things that would sink everyone else's ship except yours. That kind of willingness to overcome all circumstances.
Why spend the rest of your life being miserable, frustrated, and insecure, not really feeling as good as you have a responsibility to feel? Feeling good isn't just an opportunity. Feeling good is a responsibility that we all have for ourselves. I don't remember the last time I lost sleep over a hater and the things that people are running around saying. Why? Because I know exactly how I feel about me.
These haters out there, they exist, believe me. I have them all over the place. I've had them all my life. Some of the haters in your life are the best at trying to pretend to be concerned, aren't they? They're pretending to give you feedback only to lead you in the wrong direction so you lose. And so the real haters know how to pose as critic. And so it's your ability to distinguish between these two people that's going to have everything to do with whether you succeed. Keeping the haters in your life around you and letting their feedback and criticism affect you in a negative way could steal your dream. And they are dream stealers every single time.
I know what's happening. I know who I am. I know what my intentions are. I know my heart. And more importantly, God knows my heart. So for it to appear to be this, appear to be that, and then you running around saying whatever you're saying about me, that's fine. You have a job to do. You're bored. You have nothing going on in your life, so you're focused on my life.
Confidence has to do with inspiring trust, which you can only do by having faith in other people. Confidence enables you to walk into a room full of strangers and converse with anyone without fear. It makes the strangers in that room think, here is someone I not only can talk to, here's someone I want to talk to. An ill-at-ease person makes everyone around him ill at ease. Feeling right makes others feel right, and they in turn give back what's inside them, the very confidence that you give out.
Because when you can start saying yes to loving yourself, you start to realize just how far you're able to go. And I wish people knew that the ability to succeed, it's all inside of you. And I hope and pray that for all of you, at some time in your life, you'll realize that the best version of yourself is so beautiful and so amazing. And yes, people may not accept you all the time and they may hurt you, but I don't want you to keep that in, because you were meant to be a certain type of person, and there's somebody out there in this world who needs to see you for who you are.
I don't care how pretty you look on the outside. I don't care how much you dress it up. I don't care what kind of makeup you put on it. Insecurity on the inside is one of the ugliest traits that you could ever walk out. It's just not who you're called to be. There's so much more in store for you.
Well, I'm going to be selfish and take care of myself more. which I haven't for a decade.
I'm going to tell you what, you owe it to yourself, everybody, right. Whether you've been wounded or not, right. Wherever you are in life, because the fact of what you just said, you got to remember this. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of the other people around you.
Right.
It's confidence that makes people want to believe what you say to them, want to accept you as you present yourself. So confidence is not some little thing. It's a powerful force that can grow in power and flourish.
If you don't care at all about pleasing other people, if you're only living for yourself, you're a narcissist. So there's nothing wrong with wanting the approval of other people. But like all of God's good gifts, what is a good thing in your life, a legitimate need, can be misused. You have a need for food in your life. It can be misused. Everybody agree with that? Everything that God gave us as gifts actually can be misused if we don't handle it correctly.
How do I learn to believe in myself so that others will believe in me too? A truly confident person's belief in himself is strong enough so that he's able to believe in others. Conversely, distrust in yourself breeds distrust in everyone you meet. A confident person gives you confidence. She creates confidence in others. The strength of her character makes you a stronger character.
If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. If somebody who had come from the bottom and got to this position I'm in told me that this is the way I would try, if I was you, I would try it. I bet you it'll work.
The following are true stories. May 26, 2003, Aaron Ralston was hiking. A boulder fell on his right hand. He waited 4 days. Then he amputated his own arm with a pocket knife. On New Year's Eve, a woman who was bungee jumping in Zimbabwe, the cord broke. She then fell into a river and had to swim back to land in crocodile-infested waters with a broken collarbone. The most amazing part of these stories is when asked about the experience, they all smiled, shrugged, and said, I guess things could have been worse. When your day is a museum of disappointments hanging from events that were outside of your control. When you find yourself flailing in an ocean of why is this happening to me? When it feels like your guardian angel put in his 2-week notice 2 months ago and just decided not to tell you. When it feels like God is a babysitter that's always on the phone. When you get punched in the esophagus by a fistful of life, remember that you will survive. Remember, things could be worse. Remember, we are never, ever given anything that we can't handle. When the world crumbles around you, you have to look at the wreckage and then build a new one out of all the pieces that are still here. Remember, you are still here. The human heart beats approximately 4,000 times per hour, and each pulse, each throb, each palpitation is a trophy engraved with the words, you are still alive. You are still alive. Act like it.
I invested too much to quit. I made too many sacrifices to give up. We've come too far. We've been through too much. We've seen too much. We've had too many victories. We have seen defeat. We've looked defeat in the face and we've overcome it. We've come too far to give up now. We've come too far to be negative now. We've come too far to start overthinking now. So when life happens, I don't just sit there and cry. I brought back. I brought back. And the process is not supposed to be comfortable. So if it hurts, welcome to the big leagues. If you feel like you're under heat, praise God. If you feel like you're being pressured, praise God. But when God looks like he's pulling you back, eventually he's going to let you go. And the farther he pulls you back, once he releases you, boom. The spirit of resiliency, the spirit of grit, it's in your DNA. It's in your blood. Overcoming is in your blood. Getting through adversity is in your blood. Your ancestors got through so much more. We will be all right. We need to focus on where we're going, not where we come from and what's happening. I just need you to keep walking toward it. I don't need you thinking about it no more. You're doing too much thinking. You analyze it too much. You're talking yourself out of it. I don't know if this is going to work. I tried and it didn't work. I just need you to keep moving. I need you to make up in your mind that the only way you can lose is if you quit. I just need you to keep going. You got to tell life, I don't know who you've been dealing with, but you ain't dealt with me. You got to tell bankruptcy. You got to tell divorce. You got to tell sickness. I don't know who you've been dealing with, but but you come up against the wrong one this time. You can be and do whatever you want, and nobody can stop you. Nobody can stop you but you.
Turn the page. We're going to make mistakes. You got to own them. And then you got to move on.
Making peace with your past.
Don't lay there wallowing in your past, man. Your past is back there.
Guilt and regret kills many a man before their time.
Every time you go through a test, it takes something out of you. You made it, but it took something out of you. You made it out, but it took something out of you. You went through the scandal, but it took something out of you. It's not age that gets you, it's experiences. You must realize that you can survive and still suffer. You survived the divorce, but it costs you something. You survived the addiction, but it costs you something. That means the further you go, the more it costs you. It's not the years, it's the things I went through. It's the betrayal that I went through. It's the friends that rejected me. It took all of my strength to get back up. People don't realize how much has gone out of your cup to still be standing. Look at somebody and say, I'm still here. I'm not the same, but I'm still here.
Yes, you may have seasons of mourning, times you go through loss, things that are not fair, but that's not how your story ends. God is going to take what was meant for harm and turn it to your advantage. He won't keep you from every mountain, but He did promise He would turn the sorrow into joy. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy is coming in the morning.
Sometimes people will give you a name but never forget who you are. Sometimes life will call you a name, but never forget who you are. Don't let people take away your identity just because of your circumstance and your situation.
It's easy to go through life letting people put names on us. As long as we're wearing these names, it's going to keep us from our potential. Who do you believe you are? And what's holding many people back is they have the wrong name. In your mind, is your name born to lose or born to win?
When you get to the end, you want to know, was it worth it? Midlife crisis is wondering, was it worth it? Do I have what I expected to have? Am I appreciated? Am I valued? Am I loved? Trying to balance an account before you close the books. I consider that trials and disappointment are sometimes for our good. God might perhaps have permitted this in order to teach me wisdom, and by His invisible but powerful hand brought me the way I knew not. And if He allowed me to suffer, that some kind of way, there's something that He wants me to get out of it, or He wouldn't have allowed it. Is there anybody in here that's been through enough suffering in your life and you were just holding on by the skin of your teeth and you made it over, and sometimes you felt like dying, but there was just a little bit of light coming into the dark arc for you to press your way through? It is the way you talk to yourself that determines whether you endure hardness or not. It is what you choose to think about. I chose to believe that God would bring me out of this, that He was to teach me something. I focused on the fact that some kind of way I'll come out of this wiser, better, and richer and fuller, though that pleasure has been for the most part mingled with sorrow. What makes any event important if we don't use it to become better and wiser? I'm talking to somebody. You either get better or you get bitter. You either allow the pain to engulf you or you rise to something above it. I want you to choose which one you're going to be. Every day will not be an easy day. Oh, do you hear what I'm saying? I don't care what's going on around you. If God is for you, He will raise you up anyway. I don't care what you saw on the news. I don't care what your education is. If God is for you, He will raise you up and take you to a place that you know not of.
We all face situations that look like they'll never change. But God said in Zephaniah 3, I will turn things around for my people. He turns barren wombs into babies. He turns 5 loaves and 2 fish into dinner for thousands. When thoughts tell you your situation is permanent, no, get ready, a turnaround is coming. You're going to see the hand of God do things that are unusual, out of the ordinary. Depression can be a mountain. Feels like you'll always struggle with it. Or how about a mountain of debt, lack? It's been in your family for years. This is a new day. God is about to flatten some things out. What used to hold you back is not going to limit you anymore. That mountain of loneliness, the right person is going to find you. Now you have to receive this by faith. This won't do you any good if you think, my situation could never turn around. You can cancel out what God wants to do by doubt. Why don't you be a believer and not a doubter? And say, God, I believe what you promised, that a turnaround is coming. My relationships, my career, the loss, what you're up against didn't stop your purpose. It seems like a setback, but really it's a setup for God to show out in a greater way. Everything you've lost will be restored. Burdens you've carried will be lifted. What's limited you in the past is not going to limit you anymore. Don't just think about your problems. Don't just worry, live stressed. Go to God in prayer. Ask Him to heal you, to favor you, to bring that dream to pass, to move that mountain. Here's the key. Once you pray, believe that it's already done. Most of the time, it doesn't happen instantly. That's a test of your faith. What God promised is already en route. You may have situations that look permanent. It's been too long. The odds are against you. You've done all you can and the door hasn't opened. You've run out of options. Now get ready. A turnaround is coming. What God started, He's going to finish. There's not a person that's against you that He can't change their mind. You do your part and leave the rest to God. You left defeated, but you're going to come back victorious. Increase is coming. Favor is coming. You thought you'd have to live with that sickness? No, a turnaround is coming. You may have gone through disappointments, a rough childhood. Now you feel that heaviness. You think this is all you have to look forward to. No, there's something unexpected that's going to change in your favor. What's hindered you in the past is not permanent. That depression you've been dealing with is about to turn around. Everything you've lost will be restored. Burdens you've carried are being lifted. You will be respected everywhere you go. It's turnaround time. If you receive it, can you say amen?